Hey, I'm Doc Jones from the Homegrown Herbalist School, and my daughter Luci, and we're out here harvesting plantain. We thought we'd give you some pointers. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Jones from the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine, and this is my daughter Luci. And Luci is also an instructor in the school. She's a naturopath, she's an herbalist, and she's also the general manager of the whole company. So she's kind of my boss. If you've had any nice experience with Homegrown Herbalist, it's probably Luci's fault. And this is Mimi, and she's helping us with our video too today, as she often does when we're in the garden. But anyway, we're harvesting plantain, and we just wanted to give you a few pointers, some things to think about when you're harvesting herbs, and this herb in particular. So this is Plantain major. It looks a little different than the plantain you're likely to see in your gardens or in your yard. It's the same species, broadleaf plantain, Plantain major, but this is a Turkish variety, and it just gets way bigger. And we like that because we're making medicine. More medicine is better, right? It has the same principal properties, just gives us more volume. So we're going to be harvesting some plantain here. And Luci, give us some pointers, some good harvesting tips.
Okay, so we're harvesting these leaves to make herbal medicinals. So we want to make sure that we're picking the very best leaves that are in their prime. Let's find one. That's a good one.
There you go.
Okay, so this leaf, it hasn't been weathered too much. It doesn't have any insect damage. It's in its prime. It's not too old and, worn out. So this is a very good example of one that would make good herbal medicine for us.
Contrasted
Yeah.
with this guy, right, who's seen a few more battles in his life. Insect damage, a lot of sun exposure, dried out, falling apart. Now, this herb, think about this guy as a 20-year-old young adult. He's fully mature, looks great, strong as an ox. That's the guy you want. Or you can get a guy my age.
Yeah.
So which medicine do you want to take? But on a nicer note, this guy's still good for something. He's still fully functional for making, nutrients for the plant. He's still doing photosynthesis all day. So we leave him on the plant, and he's feeding the plant, feeding the roots, and feeding the seeds, right? Because we're going to be harvesting those seeds.
That's right.
And we want them to be full of nutrients. We want them to be full of energy. We want to be able to poke them in the dirt and have a great plant come up.
Yeah. And that's another really good point. We don't want to take too much off of one plant. We don't want to harvest too many leaves.
Right.
These are perennial plants, and we want them to come back strong next year and for many years to come. So we're going to take a few prime leaves off of each plant to make our herbal medicinals. But we're going to leave a lot of leaves so that these plants don't get too stressed out.
Right. And we'll be harvesting this seed, in a couple of weeks from now, I guess, right? And we'll have this seed on the website for sale if you want some. And like I said, this is a Turkish variety. It gets bigger, fuller, more volume of medicine. So if you're going to plant plantain, this is a good variety to plant.
Yeah. You get a lot more for your effort with these bigger leaves.
Right. That's right.
For sure. Yeah.
Way more volume. We had an experience with this plant just the other day. We were sure glad we had it around. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I guess now, we were just sitting around talking and heard this awful scream from my 4-year-old daughter, like high wailing. I thought she was in some real big trouble. I jumped up, running towards the door. My husband had been out building some new steps on our deck, and he had our 4-year-old and met me at the front door, and she's just screaming. Apparently, she'd been hanging out while her dad was building the deck steps and had come into contact with a wasp nest. And
they didn't like that.
No.
Stung all over.
It was probably 12 plus stings and a couple of bites, and it was seconds after it had happened, and there were already welts, the size of a quarter.
Yeah, a lot of vertical edema, and the arm. Like her little arms were getting big, swollen up. It was
happening really fast
and excruciatingly painful for her. She was screaming like, a real tragedy scream, like something really horrific had happened to her, which it had for her, But anyway.
Yeah, so we brought her into the house, stripped her clothes off, looked at all the little stings and bites, and made sure there weren't any more wasps in her clothes. And then we grabbed our venom and sting tincture, which has a lot of plantain in it.
Yep.
And put a little spray top on it and just started immediately, spritzing the tincture all over those bites and stings. And
what was it, 5 minutes?
Oh, not even.
Not even.
Within just a couple minutes, she stopped crying, asked her if she was hurting. She wasn't hurting anymore.
Yeah.
She did want a Band-Aid. And I...
Because how do you know you're being held?
How do you know you don't have a Band-Aid? And I was like, you know what? If we're going to do Band-Aids, let's go ahead and put some fresh plantain on there too.
Yep.
I sat my son out to this garden bed, told him to find me a good leaf. I tore it up, chewed it up a little bit, put a little piece on the Band-Aids, and slapped those on
there. Yep.
And then, I don't know, a couple hours later, I took all the Band-Aids off and I was looking her over and touching each one and said, does this one hurt? No. Does this one? And I couldn't even see
they were gone. You could see the little dot, but the swelling, the redness, the pain, it was just gone.
And I could, poke and prod it, and she didn't care. She's like, no, it doesn't hurt, Mom. I'm good. Yeah.
She did care enough to send her father out to kill the wasps. Yeah.
To die the wasps.
Dad needs to die those bad wasps, right? But and he did it. So, the real question is, what would we have done if we didn't have that?
Right. Well, we have the bed of plantain fresh, and that's, great during those summer months when wasps are out and about. But there's not a lot of solutions at the store.
No. There's not a thing at the store that we could have bought that would have done what had the outcome we had in 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was great to have the bottle of tincture. It was great to have the plants, because that would have worked just as well. You'd have done more chewing and needed more Band-Aids.
Yeah.
But it would have worked. But the most important thing maybe is that you knew what to do. The knowledge is extraordinarily important, because folks, guess what? You are surrounded by medicine. We are surrounded by enormous resources that can be used for all kinds of different problems. Catastrophic, tons of bee stings, no problem.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about that. Having the information in your mind, it was almost second nature to us. Like, we didn't even think about it. We just looked at the stings and grabbed the tincture, and we knew exactly what to do in the emergency event.
It's almost reflexive for us, because it's our lifestyle. Lucy's been in her beds like this since she could walk. That's just the way we live. And it's a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah. Bee sting, plantain.
But to have that knowledge in the moment, you don't have to fuss and worry and think about it and what are we going to do? Like, you just know and you just do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that really is the whole point of the Homegrown Herbalist School. It's to empower people just like you, to know what can be done and how to do it. And guys, it's not rocket science. People have been using these plants for thousands and thousands of years. The applications are typically very simple. Put them on you, or you poke them in your mouth. It ain't that complicated.
Yep.
But knowing what to do, how to do it, and having it be part of your lifestyle, so that it becomes really a reflexive, natural, oh, sure, I need this. I'm hungry, I eat something. I'm thirsty, I drink something. I get stung by a bee, I put some plantain on it. Yeah. It's that simple. That really is the whole point of our program. And we would love to join you on that journey. Lucy and I, and there's another, 3 or 4 great instructors. We have a midwife. We have a science nerd with a PhD in physiology. We've got 2 other naturopath, herbalists. Great resources. We'd love to join you on that journey. I'm Dr. Patrick Jones.
And I'm Lucy.
And thanks for watching.